Alright, and now we have come to the inspiration segment of this series. Now, just a quick note, the inspiration has different abilities depending upon which one you're coupling it with. Every other tree has exact same things across the board, but inspiration, you're inspired to do different types of things. So precision, you need the attack speed, it gives you the attack speed. Domination and sorcery, it gives you additional attack damage or ability power depending. Resolve gives you more health, but they all give you an additional duration for your potion and elixirs. Now, which just means if you're going to be going down this path, go ahead and grab additional potions and elixirs. Like, start picking up those elixirs. They're an extra 20% on them could actually be significant, but you know, just that's if you want to be going with consumables. I personally think that you don't necessarily need to go with consumables, but like early game consumables are nice, and these can actually be pretty fun. So let's take a look here. Now, when you have your unsealed spell book, now this is kind of a fun one because basically it just means that every 2 minutes you can cycle out one of your summer spells. So if you suddenly realize, hey, you know what, I want to have Ghost and Clarity, go ahead and you can start with something really funky, and people will be like, what the hell's his game? And then switch it up. You can switch up as much as you like. The thing is that they say that buying Smite won't grant access to Smite items. You can't have two similar spells of the same, which obviously. But it seems to me if you start with Smite, you buy yourself some Smite items, and then you move away from Smite. If you ever, like, can you just continue down the Smite trees? I'm not sure. We'll look into that. Glacial Augment. Now, this is an interesting one because you slow your enemy with your basic attacks, which is actually very powerful, especially with that Dominator ability of Cheap Shot. So you couple those two together, and bam, you're already doing more damage. You're slowing them, and then if you apparently slow the champion with an active item, shoots a freeze ray through them, freezing nearby ground for 5 seconds, slowing all units inside for 50%. Cooldown is 7 to 4 seconds per unit. Not entirely sure what it means by unit. It doesn't really declare what that unit is. But anyway, in here you have your range gets 20 to 40% slow, and melee is 40 to 50%. Melee is a smaller range, and range is much higher, but you it's still good. And if the melee does need more slow, so this is a really strong ability. Next up, Kleptomancy. After using ability, your next attack on a champion grants bonus gold. There's a chance you will also gain a consumable. Now this is that's kind of interesting. This is actually that pickpocket ability from before, it seems like, and so you take shots at your opponent and you gain a bonus gold. So that's actually kind of fun. That's an interesting, and I think actually if you pair that up with the you know what? That's actually down here. That's in that's the futures market. So you do futures market kleptomancy. You're getting a bunch of bonus gold, and you can start buying your things a lot sooner. Interestingly enough, the unsealed spellbook, this flash transportation is kind of weird, because if you swap out your flash spell, this becomes useless to you. So it seems really the biscuit delivery, I would say, is really just #1 on this tier. Perfect timing could actually be good if you really need to, get an extra guardian angel. You want to die twice and still live. The magical footwear, I don't know. It just seems to me very. It just seems to me like it's too situational, and I don't really know which champion would really benefit from magical footwear versus a futures market or minion dematerializer. And then once again from beyond, you get all these other nifty little abilities. So the keystones are really key to what's going on here. Now, it's interesting how when you couple in precision, overheal, you're not really going to get much with the biscuit delivery and overheal because this is missing health, not total health. So you don't really have, so overheal doesn't really do anything in there. Now, Triumph with Kleptomancy and Futures Market, that's just a gold generating tier right there. Additional attack speed or tenacity, it's really hard to say because at the end of the day, you still have to do your job, and usually your job is staying alive and killing the other person. Because at the end of the day, that's how you win a war. You win a war by getting them to die for their cause, and you survive. Now, what's going to go on in here? This is just your trickster's guild. Precision's an interesting choice for it. Sorcery, I could actually see sorcery doing pretty good because you're going to be getting all these this extra money or different types of things. If you do the cosmic insight and you couple that with your some additional cooldown reduction, it seems really like this is the synergy that they kind of should want you going for. But down all of these different trees and domination, there's so much that can be done with these. I mean, like I said, Glacier Augment with Peak Shot is a very strong combination. But then after that, you'd probably want, if you're doing wave clear, the minion dematerializer, and then I'd probably go with Cosmic Insight. And then you could just have fun, really. Like this right here is kind of a have fun kind of thing, but I don't really see how Inspiration really is going to kill your enemy. It's going to more just kind of confuse them. They're going to be like, wait, what? How are you still alive? Or how are you still doing this? There's just those things kind of going on. The sorcery tree, you've got, you can get a double mana. You can, I mean, setting them on fire is kind of nice, but really at the end of the day, I don't see how Inspiration really kills. It's you could get a lot of money, and then you could kill just because you were able to buy more things earlier, and then just get ahead of them that way. In fact, actually, I'm curious here what they choose Inspiration, and this is delivered. Yep, this is. I don't necessarily know if I would go with Unsealed Spellbook. Unsealed Spellbook to me seems okay. And you see, so this is what they do. I'm going to do another set of videos going over all the preset ones.